Yes, 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 yes. Yes! That was a goal.
Iniesta, taquito de Iniesta.
Maestro Iniesta.
Quería Robben. Primero Navas, el niño. Va atacando el conjunto español, el niño para Iniesta. Fábregas, Iniesta. ¡Gol!
Moutinho, Ronaldo isolado, vamos ver, leva-nos a Brasil, Ronaldo, leva-nos a Brasil, Ronaldo, bate, gol, ele é o único que ultrapassa os limites da lógica, Ronaldo, no mata-mata, Ronaldo matou, samba, Ronaldo!
See that? He must have a foot like a traction engine.
Tagliata, messa fuori, c'è Pirlo, ancora Pirlo di tacco, tiro, gol di Grosso.
Hello guys, welcome back to our show, a show about the World Cup. We're the Beyonders, and we're here to talk about the World Cup and how it's going along. And I'm pretty sure everybody's having a good time. A lot of great matches. And we're going to be looking at them, giving you our expert opinion. And we're going to be telling you exactly what to look forward to. So let's look at the first game. First game, which was on Thursday last week. A nice display of football. I don't know how nice, but we're going to discuss it. And we're going to see what exactly happened that day. What do you guys think? Were you satisfied with the opening game of the World Cup?
I thought it was a farce of a game simply because the penalty just ruined the game completely. And this is like undeniable proof that FIFA will guide Brazil to the final. And there's a lot of people saying that it's because FIFA and also the Brazilian government fear that if Brazil don't do well in this World Cup, that there's going to be panic and riot in the streets.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that went wrong with that game. There was a lot of shit that happened, and I don't know if it was just guiding them. I mean, it was blatant to me anyway. The elbow by Neymar.
Yeah, some refs would have called that a red, guaranteed.
Easily. Fred's blatant falling.
No, that was probably one of the most scandalous penalties I think I've ever seen awarded at a major tournament.
And I don't know if a lot of guys got, like a lot of people saw this, but the last goal, Oscar goal, was okay. I mean, it wasn't super nice. It wasn't ugly. It was a nice effort. But right before that, Ramirez, football tackle across the legs of I don't remember who. But some guy got chopped up in the center of the field, and nobody called that. And that went on to be a goal. So there's 3 plays where controversial events happening right before the goal. I don't know.
Considering the fact that Croatia is playing the host country in this tournament, and the game was deadlocked at 1-1. I mean, you have to know that that's a good result for them. They were doing well. They were doing well at shutting out Brazil. The game was very tight, and I saw a couple of idiots online saying that Brazil was playing better, and eventually they were going to win. I thought I thought Croatia was doing a really good job of blocking out
Absolutely.
Brazil.
Yeah.
And it was that penalty that changed everything. And Brazil was literally getting the majority of all the 50-50 calls. If you look at the fouls, Croatia committed 21 fouls, and the ref only called 5 for Brazil. So, listen, if Brazil would leave this result 1-1 going into the second game, I think it's already, maybe they don't finish first, maybe they finish second. So, for me, this is blatant. I wouldn't say, actually, yeah. I don't know if this is cheating on Brazil's part, but I'm pretty sure that this is FIFA trying to write the story once again, just like they did in 2002 with Korea. You know, they guided them to the semis, and I think that we're going to see the same thing this tournament.
Well, I just think we weren't that surprised. What I'm saying is the result, what ended up happening, is exactly what we predicted. We predicted that Croatia was going to give Brazil a game. They totally gave them a game. We predicted that Brazil was going to win this game. They won this game. They're probably going to walk out of this group with 9 points. This was going to be the biggest challenge. Neymar is looking good. He's on set to finish with the Golden Boot, maybe the player of the tournament. So really, is there a really big surprise? No. Yes, there was controversy. There will always be controversy. There will not be a World Cup without controversy. But we were expecting certain results out of this game, and I think we got what we were expecting.
Yeah, well, definitely the favorite one here. I guess basically what the argument is the events that happened during the game.
Yeah.
But well, listen, let's use that to go on to the next.
No, wait, before we go on, I just want to say something about Brazil. During the game, especially after Croatia scored, Brazil looked really unfocused. They looked like they were in complete disarray.
Well, yeah, that's normal. I mean, they were down in the 11th minute of the game.
Yeah, but they
opening
panicked, and
They did.
and I felt that the crowd,
It didn't take them very long. They got back even before the end of the half.
the crowd brought that extra pressure. But even at 1-1, they were still chasing as if they were losing.
Yeah, Croatia
You know?
definitely put them to the sword for sure.
And that's another thing about Brazil. Like the midfield the subs didn't make any sense, and the midfield was complete disarray. Like, Neymar was good at coming back and helping out when they had to recuperate the ball, but they didn't look organized. And I think like a team like Germany will handle this Brazilian team.
Yeah, well, listen, in
Any structured team that doesn't lose their shape could give this Brazil team a game.
I think so too. I don't think that we saw a dominant force. But listen, if you wanna segue into the other game of the group, I mean, Mike, you're talking about them collecting all 9 points, Brazil. So, did you guys watch the Mexico-Cameroon game? I mean, I saw parts of it. I didn't see it all, but I certainly didn't see in what I saw from Mexico and Cameroon. I didn't see teams that could give Brazil for a run. I thought Croatia was probably going to be the team that was going to give Brazil most issues. And after seeing them go 3-1 and losing to them, I don't see Mexico or Cameroon. I mean, Mexico, with the history of Brazil, there might be some competition there, but definitely not from Cameroon. I didn't see too much from Cameroon at all against Mexico.
Nah, Brazil's gonna get 9 points in this group, guaranteed. Mexico had 2 completely good goals called back. Again, more buffoonery from the FIFA officials.
Offside goals, right?
Offside. Well, one of them's offside. The other one, I don't remember. It could have been a supposed foul in the box, but yeah, it could have been offside too. 2 goals called back. More shambolic officiating. Cameroon didn't do much to take the game to Mexico. I think this was one of the more dull games of the opening round.
Yeah, it wasn't great. The lowest scoring game actually so far, and it's the only game I think that where we had one half of a 0-0. In every other game, there's been goals, but
Yeah.
this is the only game where we finished half and it was 0-0 at the
There was a grand total of 5 shots on target between the two teams.
Yeah, so a little bit. slow.
4 in favor of Mexico.
We're really wasting our breath even mentioning this.
No,
match.
we have to talk about it because we're gonna get some action out of Brazil and Mexico. That's for sure.
Listen, all we could say. Well, I'm not sure Mexico give Brazil a game.
I don't think so, but they've had some good clashes in the past.
Listen, I
and,
really hope for the Mexicans. I really hope that they could, because I feel like there's like all the neutrals were supporting Brazil because whatever, joga bonito, and
Fuck
the beautiful soccer that they play, etc. But I think after that phantom penalty call, that I think they lost the neutrals completely. So I hope that Mexico and Cameroon get something off Brazil, at least a point. It would make me happy.
Yeah, for sure. You guys want to move on? Mike, do you have anything to add for this Mexico-Cameroon game? I
No,
don't know
let's
if you
not waste too much time on this one.
Okay, fuck it. Let's move to the next one.
All right, the next game after that, and probably if you had to have watched one game so far in this tournament, it had to have been Spain-Holland. an absolute masterclass of Dutch football. And I have to say, Van Persie scored, I think, what is going to be my favorite. I don't care of anything else that happens in this tournament. I think that Van Persie header at the 44th minute is going to be the best goal of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. What a beauty. What a beauty. I mean, he looks like a swan flying through the air, or like a dolphin just flying out, poking his nose up into the air and just lobbing it right over Casillas'
Listen,
head.
that is the best. You just saw with that goal. You saw the best technique of a striker. That is the apex of striking technique.
Yeah.
And
Is
that
he at his peak right now, Van Persie?
Of course, he has to be.
Yeah.
Listen, if Holland were ever going to win with this generation, it's now. Because they have, they lost Van der Vaart and they don't have Strootman. But I think all the...
No, I think, a lot of people say that them losing Van der Vaart is a good thing.
Why? Because
I don't know,
because it means that Schneider plays...
I
I think Schneider was going to play anyway.
I don't know, but basically Van der Vaart would have played ahead of him, no? If he was healthy.
Yeah, I think... Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. It's debated. He could have gone with either or.
Anyway, what a game. What a fucking game. And what happened with Spain? How did they break down?
This is the... I mean, listen, I can't explain to you exactly what happened. I think that Netherlands played the smart game. I mean, it seems that to take on a Spanish side these days, you need to play with 3 center backs, and you need to switch from 5-3-2 to 3-5-2 to full on attack like 3-3-4. That has to be like that. That seems to be the script on beating Spain. So the Spanish, I guess they...
Because the Spanish are very narrow in the middle. Is that
Well, listen,
right?
if you watch the game, you could saw the first. You would have seen within the first half an hour, Spain looked like they were going to win this game at least 4-0. I mean, that penalty kick that they were awarded was bullshit, but they had a really good chance right before Van Persie's goal to go up 2-0. So as soon as I think that Van Persie goal took the life out of Spain, and then in the second half it was complete domination. The Spanish could not stop Arjen Robben and Van Persie. And it was the masterclass.
Netherlands play a more physical game. They were first to the ball all the time. They were just, they were out.
But I think
outright the better
that's
team.
what breaks tiki-taka. Like, the most simple soccer. Like, play the long ball, beat the offside, and pressure.
Constant pressure.
It's about strikers getting behind the defenders, and that's what did Spain in this game. It could have easily been 7-1. They hit a crossbar. Schneider missed an open net right in front. This is actually one of the biggest upsets for me in the World Cup. Not the fact that Netherlands beat Spain, because that's believable, but the scoreline 5-1 is just incredible.
Well, listen, 5-1 is a nice beating. That have to come sometimes. Maybe Spain can use it to wake up Del Bosque. Del Bosque will change around.
What do you think? What do you think?
They're saying they're going to go back to the false 9 format, get rid of Diego Costa, bring Torres maybe, or Negredo.
That's the only reason why they brought Diego Costa in, so you could play that that center forward position, and now he's basically useless.
Fuck it. They're going back to what won them a tournament.
And would you start Iker Casillas next game?
Iker Casillas, or who did they bring back up? Peperena?
They have Peperena and De Gea of Manchester United.
You switch your number one, Iker Casillas, especially Golden Boy, Spain's Golden Boy. I don't know if he's going to be, if it's such a good, popular decision. I don't know if he has the balls to make that decision.
Who, Del Bosque?
Del Bosque. What
I
you
would
guys
do
think?
it. I would drop him.
Listen, I would drop him too, but again, there's a lot of politics involved. He's
Okay, but what happens? Okay, listen. Their next game will be against Chile. That's another really good game of the first round, right? Now, Chile, they've come off a win against Australia, and they know that Spain is a wounded animal. They smell blood. Iker Casillas probably his confidence isn't high right now. So, knowing that you're playing Spain, Iker's playing, let's say the Spanish draw or lose, off an Iker mistake. I think they're gonna bury Del Bosque.
They're going to definitely bury Del Bosque, because what's going to happen then is that if they do lose to Chile, they're definitely not
They're not gonna advance.
Not going to advance. So
But that's it.
definitely Del Bosque is out.
if you play Pepe Reina
Doesn't really matter then.
and you win, I mean,
You're a hero. But then what happens? What are you saying to Casillas? You're saying, fuck you, you're no longer the number one?
Pepe Reina this season has made some pretty big mistake. I mean, he's been solid for Napoli, but he's just made like really papere basically.
yeah.
He's really screwed up some coming out of his net. You know, his positioning on some occasions is just wild. So, I mean, you can also criticize Reina for those very same reasons.
Well, then you go with De Gea. You know, either De Gea or Reina are could be realistically Spain's number one keeper. I mean, they're both good.
Absolutely.
You know, there are countries in this tournament that will kill for either one of them, and you know, Spain has 3 really good solid keepers. So I don't think they'd be missing out by sitting Iker for one game.
No, I agree, but I don't think it's gonna be done. I think they stick with their golden boy Iker.
Listen, I'm fed up. I'm tired of Spain. I really I think the Spain-Chile game is going to be one of the best games of the first round because both teams like to attack. Spain pass the ball a lot more. Their style is a lot more horizontal. Chile are a more attacking team, but they're more vertical. They're more
More of a direct approach.
more direct, straight to the net. That's their style.
Speaking about Chile, did you guys see the Chile-Australia game? Very good game. I thought it was exciting. I like the way Chile play. They play very open, attacking-minded soccer, so I really, really enjoyed it. I unfortunately was rooting for Australia because I like to go for the underdog. Timmy Cahill, baby. What a fucking goal. I was telling you guys about this goal before. I really liked it. He's amazing with his head. He gets up high, and he buries them with his head. It's just unfortunate he didn't get very good service, but I was going for Australia in this one, and it sucks that they didn't get a result. But Chile plays beautiful, beautiful soccer. Did you guys see the goals in Chile goals?
I thought the protagonist was Valdivia.
Yeah,
Palmeiras boy plays the soccer in Brazil, so he was an important player in terms of basically the creating
Yeah, definitely.
some key opportunities, and he managed to get on the score sheet also. And Sanchez is looking good for your prediction to come out of this group, maybe as one of the top dogs in this group.
Yeah.
Not surprised that Chile won. Also not surprised. We pointed out Chile's flaws, and we saw that again. So, I mean, we're really not surprised, I think. Well,
Yeah.
we are definitely surprised with the first game in this group. But Chile, we got what we expected again.
Yeah. I'm surprised that this. Actually, I'm surprised that Chile didn't score more than 3. I thought they probably had 4 or 5 in them.
I thought so too, but I didn't think it would have been because of Chile being dominant, because I saw Australia defending not that great, especially on the Valdivia goal where he was basically alone. He had loads of time, loads of space to place it up in top left-hand corner. So I thought basically that the first 2 goals were kind of just Australia being slow and not as fast as the Chile attackers are.
I mean, Australia, in my opinion, they really have nothing going for them.
No, but they're a fun team. They're the fucking Socceroos.
They're fun to root for because they have good fans, and everyone likes the Aussies, but they're really out of their element here. I mean, if Chile did a job on Australia 3-1, I could just imagine the beating that awaits Australia when Van Persie and Robin get their hands on them. Trust me, it could be bad. Could you imagine Van Persie on these Australian defenders?
Yeah, it's gonna be from.
Listen, if Australia beat Holland, I'll fucking walk home naked like that. There's no way in hell. I feel bad for Australia. I like Australians. I like the Socceroos, but
They're gonna get a beating.
nothing is gonna happen there.
Yeah, and maybe they'll lose 1-0 to Spain.
It's entirely possible that Spain passed the ball so much that
Yeah,
70, 80 minutes go by, and then maybe a goal will come by Iniesta penalty kick or something.
And they get a 1-0 result.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's go on to the next group because we looked at these the first 2 groups extensively. We're gonna look at now C and D.
Yeah.
Some exciting games.
It was
crazy
a
games
jam-packed day of games.
yesterday with 4 games. It was a soccer festival.
It was a feast.
It was a feast of football. I loved it. I was glued to my television 12, 3, 6, and 9 p.m. It was amazing. I loved it. So we started the afternoon with Colombia, Greece.
Yeah. Mike, what'd you think of this?
Honestly, I thought this was a really, really interesting game, Colombia-Greece. We assumed that Colombia was going to win, but I was surprised how they won, how they played. I was surprised at least. In the end, I think that Peckerman ended up playing the type of game that he exactly wanted. I was surprised to see Greece being the team that had more possession, for one. And I was surprised to see Colombia playing a 4-4-2, because basically that's what they were playing with. The striker, I don't know too much about him, and as well the supporting striker, James Rodriguez, is it, or Hernandez,
James Rodriguez.
who plays the soccer in Monaco. I don't really watch the French league, and
Yeah,
the
but
striker plays in River Plate, so I
He's
don't watch
highly
Argentinian league.
rated, James Rodriguez.
But the surprise for me, okay, was not necessarily that they had Zuniga playing right back and Armero playing left back, which is totally possible, although I would rather see a guy like Zuniga playing a lot further up front in the field because he's very dangerous offensively. And I also wasn't surprised seeing Cuadrado play as a right wing in a four-man mid. I was surprised to see Ibarbo play left wing. I was really surprised. And he played that role pretty well.
Usually, does he play in the middle more?
Usually he
Ibarbo-
can
but,
assume more of a number 9 position.
No, actually, he's more of an 11. Ibarbo usually plays on the left. He could play the 11.
But as a left wing, Al,
I've seen him play. I've seen him play as a striker on the left, which is like the number 11.
look, Cuadrado and Ibarbo played right and left wing respectively, but they didn't play that role as a typical left wing or right wing would normally play. They weren't coming in with crosses. It was more like put your head down, go a goal, and full force ahead. And Ibarbo actually played that role pretty good, and then they changed it up a little bit. As soon as Colombia got a little bit of possession, Cuadrado basically settled into a more central role. You saw him drifting towards the middle. Ibarbo was just basically burning that wing and coming straight at the net, and he did that pretty well. And some friendlies that I saw Colombian, he was playing more that number 9 role. But he's a big, strong guy. I liked him playing in that position. But what I didn't like from Colombia, given that you had those guys on the left and the right, was that they weren't connecting. Cuadrado wasn't connecting with Zuniga coming up, and Ibarbo wasn't connecting with Armero coming up. The fullbacks weren't really, for me, offensively looking dangerous. So I really thought that Colombia was going to be this offensive, powerhouse, and they were going to be super dangerous coming up front. Look, they won against Greece. They won 3-0. But at the end of the day, I'm still not that impressed with them.
Listen, I agree with you. I think that they might be capable a little bit more in terms of link-up play, in terms of fluidity of the play. But think about it. Greece, very, very defensive side. To get 3 against them with no Falcao, I think it's a good sign. I think it's definitely good signs for this team.
Yeah. Well, for me, this is a very strange game because, Colombia won 3-0. But Greece, for me, was just unlucky because they had very, very, very good chances to score on Colombia. Kone had a golden opportunity,
Big shot
that unfortunately didn't hit the target. And then they had Gekas, who that really should have been a goal. I mean, I don't know how the hell he missed that. And then Gekas, that beautiful dive that hit off the crossbar. So this could have been, if Greece were just a little sharper, it could have been 2-2. As far as Colombia, they're good. They have this is a very Italian Colombian team. There's a lot of Italian Serie A players that play on this Colombian team, and it shocks me that they use that 4-4-2, very traditional 4-4-2, but very attacking wingers on both sides. I'm not surprised that Zuniga is playing right because I know that Cuadrado's better going forward, so it makes more sense that he's on the right wing.
Well, talking about surprises, I'm also surprised about that guy who was assuming that number 9 position, who is their number 9, Gutierrez, who plays a soccer for River Plate.
Yeah.
You're leaving out a guy like basically what's his name now?
Jackson.
The FC the FC Porto player,
Jackson
Jackson
Martinez,
Martinez.
yeah.
And this guy was hot, man. He was on the market for like 30 million plus last summer. A lot of teams wanted to pick this guy up.
They brought him in towards the end of the game, and he had maybe 2 or 3 touches that weren't very nice.
Yeah, but this is a player that
But this guy's world class. I mean, why not start him? It was just strange. I don't know. I just found it strange. The players, the way that they were positioned. In the end, it worked. They got the early goal.
Yeah.
They were playing 4-4-2. Peckerman got exactly what he wanted. So, like, you can't really criticize the coach. You know, you could even criticize me for criticizing them because you can say that, look, Colombia is a team that could change it up. They could play a variety of different things.
They have a lot of depth up front.
But I'd really like to see this Colombian team really play to their full potential offensively, and I think that's really how they're going to win games.
Yeah. Another thing I'll say about Colombia is that they have the best goal celebrations, bar none. And even we see the same thing with Napoli every time Zuniga.
Armero is the greatest dancer on that team, I think.
Yeah, they have great goal celebrations. Another thing, I know we spoke about this, Mike, but yeah, it looked like Colombia was playing a home game, but you seem to think that a lot of those yellow shirts were Brazil fans.
You're just a little bit eluded by the fact that, you know, that there are some Brazilians there, and they are sporting Brazil jerseys, and that's a definite.
Well,
Like, I mean, even with the Argentina game that we saw today, there was a lot of blue and white, but you saw some yellow there, and those were Brazilians watching the game.
All right. I mean, because if this is the kind of support that Colombia is going to get, they're going to be tough to beat. Even
But most definitely, there was Colombians who showed up there in numbers.
yeah. Anything else about Greece? What can we say about Greece?
Mitroglou plays in Serie A, right?
Or
Or did he used to? He's playing now in Fulham, I think.
No, I don't think he's in Serie A.
He never played in Serie A?
No.
He came on towards the end. He's supposed to be this wild card type of guy. He didn't really do much.
No, I think their wild card really is Fatsidis.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he plays for Genoa. He's a decent player.
The guy that you mentioned before had a good display, Kone.
Kone, yeah, he was absolute
very
shit
good.
this year for.
He's also a dirty fuck, about as dirty as it gets. He's one of the dirtiest players I've ever seen in Serie A. He was
Really?
also dirty in this game, and he picked up a yellow card.
I wonder what's
Wow.
going to happen to him because I mean, yeah, he's a World Cup player.
Looks
is
good to me.
This is a high profile tournament for him, and I doubt that he's going to go to Serie B with Bologna.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, Greece, tough luck. I mean, for me, it was just they were very unlucky. But I guess no one was really surprised by the scoreline. But it would have been interesting if those chances would have went in. We would have seen a much different game.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's look at the next. What group was that? Was that Group C?
That was Group C.
And the other game in the group is Ivory Coast, Japan.
Yeah, I guess we'll jump to the later game right now. We'll talk about Cote d'Ivoire and Japan.
Yeah, did you guys catch it?
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah,
thought.
we saw it too.
I thought that Japan looked really good early on.
First half, amazing.
Yeah, they had played a solid game. I was actually surprised because I've seen a lot of. I've seen a lot since January. I've seen a lot of AC Milan games, and I had the misfortune of watching Keisuke Honda in a Milan jersey, and he was just awful. He was terrible. I think the worst player ever to wear that Milan number 10. And before the game, all the announcers were, oh, Keisuke Honda, Japanese star, this is his team, this is his moment, and I was laughing. And then he scores an absolute cracker of a goal. I was really surprised at how good he looked in that
Beauty.
in that first the first portion of the game. And it looked like Japan was going to walk away with it until the ageless wonder Drogba got subbed in.
Phenom.
Yeah, he didn't score, but it looked like when he was on the field, the Ivorians played a lot better.
There's an aura around them.
Yeah.
He's a morale boost.
Yeah, it was like he lit. There was like the rest of the players just channeled all his power.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the other players say, like, with Drogba on the field, we can do anything. That's basically what it comes down to.
But this is a reoccurring theme now, because I mean we've seen this with other games that that Drogba's been involved in, where he comes on and you look at the stats. Comes on the 60th, they score on the 62nd, and they end up pretty much winning the game, getting the second goal, at the 64th. I mean, Toure was doing his thing, looking good, but he just completely changed the game, man. It's just completely changed. in terms of Japan, they were controlling the game.
Yeah.
They were doing well for themselves. But here's
But they got
what
weaker.
I could even say a reoccurring theme about Japan. As soon as Japan, I find, finds themselves in a situation where they don't need, to have possession of the ball, and they don't need to be in a position where they're looking for a goal in order to win the game, and they got to sit back now and defend, they're like out of their element. Because that's not what they do.
Yeah.
That's not what they do. And in the last Confederations Cup, remember Italy, Japan?
Yeah.
Japan couldn't conserve any type of lead.
No, I know. But Japan are coached by an Italian. So this Japan team remind me of an early 2000s Italy team where they can't hang. They do well for the first stages of the game. They score early and then they just can't hang on. They completely lose their.
I don't know if you guys noticed
Their
this
shape.
too, but you guys have to consider the Ivory Coast. They're beasts.
Yeah, but
they're
that's it.
Huge.
Japan
huge.
seemed to be getting weaker as the game
And
went on.
I just think it's not their forte. Japan is just a team that's got to play possession, control,
Yeah.
and they can do well offensively, and they're creative. But in terms of defending, it's not their thing.
No.
And that's why they're going to struggle to conserve any type of lead whenever they're playing against anyone.
But listen, I don't think it's all decided yet. I still think this group is wide open. I mean, Japan and Greece could still maybe get something somewhere.
Definitely.
Maybe the Greeks could probably do better against the Cote d'Ivoire because for good portions of that game, Cote d'Ivoire didn't look good. I mean,
The whole first half, essentially.
the whole
Horrible.
first half they were terrible. Like it was only when Drogba got on the field where they started to look a lot better, and that was only for half an hour. So I think that Greece, they still could do something here, and Japan as well. I think these next games are going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Al. This is a group that I think the likeliest winners came out. Like the favorites came out, but I still think that, like you said, Japan can take points from Greece just as much as Greece can take points from Japan.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to watching those games, actually.
Yeah, these next games are going to be really good.
Yeah, in the second round. And imagine, like, these teams, instead of the conservative approach that they have in the first game, imagine, like, they came out attacking. Colombia came out attacking. And imagine the second round, where teams need to win. How much attacking soccer we're going to see is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a really good World Cup.
Next group.
Group D.
Bello. This is Group D?
Yeah.
Costa Rica, Uruguay. The shock of
Shocker.
around the world.
Okay, hold on. Do you think this is a bigger shock than Spain-Holland?
Hey, that's a good question. No, I think that. Sorry. Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
me
this is
too.
a much bigger shock. I think that Spain, Holland, obviously, both teams.
I think what was shocking there was just the score. I think that was a shocking score line.
Exactly. Spain doesn't want to get embarrassed that much, but both teams have enough firepower to beat each
Yeah.
other on any given day. But Costa Rica, Uruguay.
Because if you talk to so many so-called experts, Uruguay is supposed to finish first in this group,
Yeah.
and Costa Rica was just
Well, listen, without a healthy Luis Suarez, he's a good, definitely a big contribution to this team. But it's no excuse for losing against Costa Rica.
They literally
They had players, Costa
nothing.
Rica, that were on the ball, and one of them, his name is Joel Campbell. Joel Campbell was on top of everything, from his goal to setting up the third goal to keeping possession towards the end of the game. He was on top of Costa Rica, and he carried them on his shoulders throughout this whole game.
No, this is shock. I was shocked at how bad Uruguay played, and I was shocked at how good Costa Rica were. I really, really did not expect the scoreline. That penalty, the PK in the first half where Edison Cavani converted the PK was clear foul in the box. There's no controversy there. The defender practically gave a rugby tackle to Lugano in the penalty area. I thought that this game was going to end 2-0. I had no idea that Costa Rica was going to jump back in, and they scored really 3 goals of quality, especially the second goal, which was scored by Oscar Duarte. It was an excellent header. Great performance by Costa Rica.
All around great performance.
And this blows the group wide open.
Mike, did you see this game?
I saw it. And my impression was basically that Uruguay is going to have a hard time now that I start thinking about it. And I don't think I don't know. I got to reevaluate because I had Uruguay coming in second.
I had Uruguay coming in
And it's
third.
totally possible. It's totally possible that they come in second. England lost to Italy. But, I mean, now that it's looking like Suarez might not even play, well, he probably will play the second game, even though he's not healthy. For sure, they're going to risk him.
It's definitely coming.
It's a definite. But, I mean, if a Suarez isn't at 100%, okay, you got a guy like Cavani who can basically play any type of offensive role. He's I mean, you know, more on the wing, a little bit more supporting, any offensive role. But in this game, Cavani had no choice. He had to be basically the number 9, the center forward. And so, where does all the support come from? From no one. I mean, Forlan looks like he's getting older.
No, he's done. Like he
You
shouldn't.
know?
Realistically, he shouldn't be.
He's
here.
finished. And what type of midfielders does Uruguay have? They're all defensive-minded, you know what I mean? Like old-school Italian, we could almost say Walter Gargano. What type of midfielder is that? Is he a guy that's going to give in a good ball for Cavani, realistically?
No, he can't
No.
pass to save his life.
No. So, I mean, you have an amazing center forward. He could play a variety of positions, but he's an amazing center forward in Cavani. But where's the service going to come from?
Yeah, exactly.
Nowhere. It's not going to
ideally,
come from nowhere.
when Suarez is there, ideally what they play is Cavani giving Suarez service.
Cavani is a guy that can give good support, and Cavani is just a beast physically. I mean, he has crazy endurance. He can run up and down the field, no problem. So, I mean, ideally you would still have a number 10, because Cavani's not a number 10, or a playmaker, or somebody central, or a creative midfield, somebody that has, you know, a mind for picking out players, and I think they don't have that, and that's going to be their problem.
Well,
so no matter how much we talk about, and everybody talks about how good Uruguay's strikers are, where's the service coming from? That's the
it's not-
question.
I
Listen,
think the service is supposed to come from some guy named Christian Stuani, and he was pretty quiet during that game, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, he's pretty anonymous. But you know, they still have guys on the bench like Gaston Ramirez that I rate a lot. Even guys like Lodero could have started the game. But I said this in the previous show that I think it's the end of an era for this Uruguay. I think that beyond this Forlan, I don't think I think this is going to be the end we see of Uruguay in this generation as a top contender. I think that Cavani and Suarez are fantastic. I just don't see the rest of the team being at their level.
Wow.
And you have some good players like Diego Godin and I guess Lugano is like he's old by now. But Martin Cáceres is a pretty decent defender. But I mean, who on this team is at the Cavani Suarez level? No one.
Nobody.
And
I
even
guess
their
the closest
goal-
would be Diego Godin.
Yeah.
And he's not even that close.
And even Fernando Muslera wasn't that great at Lazio. I don't follow the Turkish league. I can't imagine he's that great at or the competition's that high in Turkey. But he's just not a good goalkeeper, in my opinion.
So if we segue to the other game in the same time when we consider Uruguay's chances to move on for the next, you guys obviously saw the Azzurri against the Three Lions.
Oh my God, what a game!
What a game, guys! I'm sure you were really happy watching that game, huh? Seeing
I was
those
happy, but to be completely honest with you, it wasn't like beautiful soccer or anything like that. I mean, and that was what we were expecting. I remember me and Alex talking about this game. Mike, what are you expecting? Shit game. There's not going to be a lot of movement on the field.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it was a shit game. I
No,
think
me neither. But
it was very tactical, and I think that's what
Definitely.
everyone expected. And I think that all the fears about the humidity, we saw the effects. I mean, I think there was about three England players going down with cramps, towards the later stages of the game. So we knew that the weather was a factor, and it was, yeah. And another thing, I think when soccer is played at that tempo, it's always going to favor Italy. Whenever the game is slowed down to that pace, and you have guys on the field like Verratti, Pirlo, De Rossi, these guys are great at that pace,
at holding the ball.
at finding their teammates. So it was that kind of game I expected. However, England they looked dangerous at times, but Italy was just a bit better. They went ahead, and they were more than happy to give up possession to England and invite the English in. And they were very organized at the back. There was a couple of scares, but still, I think that City goal was very solid. and Italy was just slightly better than England. Yeah, and that's it.
Lots of Italy criticizers talking about defense not being as good as it's always been.
They're right.
Chiellini, what's his name?
Paletta.
Paletta,
Yeah.
Barzali, and the last
Yeah,
guy?
Chiellini at left back.
Divia? Who? The right back.
Darmian.
Damian.
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job. Like you said, no scares. Nothing that big of a concern.
Yeah.
Since we're
Did
on
they
the-
shut up the naysayers? Is what I'm trying to find out.
No, Italy will never shut the naysayers up. It's impossible. And no matter how good we play, we can reach finals every 2-3 tournaments. We will always be a shit nation in the eyes of
The
the
defense
haters.
will always not be as good as the last defense.
Yeah, there'll always be a problem.
The guy sucks compared to Cannavaro, bro.
Well, since we're on the subject of how much it was a tactical game, Chiellini not impressing, left backs and right backs, and having this discussion about the back four, Alex had a criticism, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about that. He criticized basically Prandelli. Prandelli did a good job, He basically came out with the right approach, four at the back, pack the midfield completely, and just hope we can grind it out, get a result. But Alex had a criticism about Prandelli, and it was his selection with the right backs and the left backs, and leaving out Criscito, and how basically he fucked himself at this point.
Yeah. If I could pinpoint the weakest spot of this team, it has to be the wing backs, because we have two fairly inexperienced wing backs in Deschilio and Darmian, and so I would say a veteran at this point, Abate. Now Abate is not playing good. Abate is only there because Maggio's lung collapsed and he couldn't make it back in time to fitness. He's only on the team because he's fit. Darmian, fairly inexperienced, pretty decent player. Deschilio, injured. Now Deschilio injured, and who do we have at left back? No one. So we had to play Chiellini, who hasn't had a regular, he hasn't had regular appearances at left back since he was a U21 player.
We'll just remind everybody, that he was a U21 player, did often play that position for Juve.
But a defensive left back.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be a guy that's going to be really pushing up, bringing in good quality crosses.
Yeah, you saw that when he tried to push up. He was terrible.
Absolutely. And at the same time, you're sacrificing, your top central D guy, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, he could have done things a bit different. He could have played, three center backs and maybe brought in, Insigne and have him play that wide role, which he played this year for Napoli. That wide left role. He's done pretty good because he's pretty good at holding the ball and passing it. But Prandelli decided to play it safe, and he put in Chiellini at that spot, which I really, really hope for Costa Rica that we recuperate Deschilio and then Chiellini could go back to center back.
Guys, what happened to Balzaretti?
Injury.
Wow.
Another question, Al. Next game, I feel like it's going to be really different. Like, I think he's going to change it up. I think we're going to see an offensive Italy. I think we're going to see a guy like Insigne. I think we're going to see a guy like Cassano.
No, I don't think we'll see Insigne. I think if anything, he's going to start Cassano.
Most definitely, but there will be a support striker. There will be, I guess you could call him a number 10.
Yeah, number 10 in there. It'd be interesting to see who sits for Cassano. I would imagine Candreva, even though he had a really good game. I wouldn't bench Candreva. I would start Candreva. He was probably Italy's best player,
given the fact he had such an amazing tournament last year as well.
at the Confeds. Yeah.
Who was probably, I would say generally speaking, everybody on the Italy team had a fairly decent game. Maybe if I would pick an outstanding player, I would go with Pirlo, and Balotelli, well, he just got the job done when he needed to, didn't get that much service, but he did well for himself. Sirigu did well in nets, looked solid. But was there maybe someone who, I don't know, played under par?
Under par, I would say Paletta didn't really have a good game, didn't really inspire confidence. De Rossi, people were saying De Rossi had a good game. He committed one too many fouls for my liking. Verratti had a so-so average game, I guess. You know, he did his job. I guess he assisted on the Marchisio goal. But I would give man of the match to Candreva. I thought he was excellent on the right. He gave Nathan Baines trouble, or Leighton Baines. Leighton Baines trouble all game. Let's talk about England real quick. What did you think about this English team?
Basically, the thing that stood out for me was how horrible Rooney was, and basically England could have totally tied this game if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And Rooney's a big reason why they didn't.
I think he was really good at assisting on the first goal, but then he, that corner kick, that disastrous corner kick was just awful. And then alone he was basically in the 6-yard box and shot wide.
Failed to get it on net. Absolutely, absolutely.
But
like
I was
you said-
impressed.
Like you said, the first goal, early cross, it was nice. Nice timing on the cross. Guys that played well for England, Raheem Sterling, definitely had some
Dangerous,
good
yeah.
runs. Gave Chiellini a run for his money on that left side. And
Goal scorer Sturge.
no, I would say Leighton Baines had a good game, running up and down, sent some nice deliveries in the box, off corners.
I thought he had a good game. I didn't think he was that good.
I think he had a lot of energy. And Glenn Johnson too, definitely. I thought the fullbacks were working really hard.
Yeah, I thought they were working hard. I didn't think they were too good. I thought that.
Well, listen, they had a tough time. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
But Darmian really did a nice job on
But it wasn't
Baines.
exactly. It wasn't because they weren't hustling and they weren't giving it a run. It was basically because they were well matched.
I'm excited to see this England team in 2 years' time when guys like Barkley and Sterling get older and they're more
They
experienced.
definitely showed.
I
promise.
think England are going to be a good team again in probably the next 2 to 4 years.
I think they need more intelligent footballers. I think they need a smarter number 10. I don't think Rooney is creative enough or smart enough to set people up. I don't think he's doing his work.
I think that it's
And a lot of the goals are centered around gun it and blast it on net. And
well, I
bring
mean,
it.
it's pretty much it for Rooney because I mean, at the next tournament, he's already going to be 32 years old.
Yeah,
he's going to already be into his 30s.
If he can wake up during this tournament, I mean, can they still make a run for the second round?
Listen, I think that England. I said that England was going to top this group. Obviously, I said that they're going to finish second. I'm sticking by it. I think that they're going to give Uruguay a game. And I think they're going to beat Uruguay. I think that Uruguay were awful, and I think that this England team is going to do it. I think they're going to get 3 points on Uruguay.
And where does that bring Costa Rica after? So what do we think Costa Rica can do? Was it a fluke to beat Uruguay?
I think it's wide open, but we saw some good soccer from Costa Rica.
Yeah. Listen, I hope that Italy collects 3 points on Costa Rica, and I hope that they're not going to take it lightly.
Wow. Wide open. Second group of death.
Second group of death. Maybe the first. Who knows?
Que bello. Tomorrow there's going to be the group of death, the real one.
Yeah, the real group of death.
The real one. You guys want to move on to the next
Absolutely.
set of games?
So we're going to go to Switzerland, Ecuador.
This was today, actually,
Yeah.
at lunchtime. Good game. Very cagey. I don't know if it was the one with the most action. Nice 90th minute goal. Not much that came before. A lot of Swedish pressure. Ecuador
Swedish.
was Swiss pressure. Lots of defending from Ecuador. But overall, a really uneventful game. I mean, to be honest with you, I watched the first half. Second half, I kind of zoned out, went to do other stuff, so I didn't see too much going on. But I saw Shaqiri kind of letting down. I was telling you before, he had a good moment where he had some guys available on the right side on a nice breakaway and chose to do the heroics and missed. And I think there was at least one other letdown. But other than that, good win, good deserved win by Switzerland.
I thought that Ecuador was going to be. They're actually. I thought that they were going to get the win here. To be honest, Switzerland didn't really impress me in this game. I thought that the substitutes were good because both subs that came on got the goals. And I mean, I honestly don't have much to say here, other than I think that Balan Barami's, the go-ahead goal really came from his grit. I guess he did well to get the ball back and then He did really, really well. Instead of rolling on the floor after he got fouled or the ref would stop play, he got up and he kept counterattacking, and it resulted in a Switzerland goal. So I think that was probably for me the highlight of the game, and the highlight was Valon Barami's his effort.
I don't really have much to comment on this because I didn't see the game. I just caught a glimpse of that exact moment where Valon Barami basically was the reason why they scored that goal in the 93rd minute.
Yeah.
And all I want to say about Valon Barami, because I love this guy to death, he's an amazing soccer player. Well, not amazing soccer player, but I don't care what the name of your club is. Okay, I don't care how important the name of your club is. Barami is a guy that you absolutely want to have because he plays, his heart on his sleeve, and every team needs that bulldog, in the midfield, and that was the reason why Switzerland won today.
Yeah. Not much else to say.
Good.
Moving on. France, Honduras.
Okay, so basically the blowout everybody was expecting. Today, people expected 2 blowouts. This game and the one that came afterwards. This one ended up being a blowout. 3-0.
It could have been more.
It could have been more, definitely. 2 posts in the first half, crossbar. Post. It was pretty one-sided, definitely.
Before we talk about France, do you think a team of Honduras' quality deserves to be in this tournament?
No quality, so no.
Yeah, it's you could probably there are good teams in this tournament there are good teams that aren't in this tournament.
Okay, but who would you put from their confederation? Who would you put? Who would come in their place?
Fuck it, just take the spot away from CONCACAF. They don't deserve it. Most of the teams in CONCACAF are shit. Give an extra spot to either. No, I wouldn't even say South America. I would just say give the extra spot to Europe.
I think that should be the argument. Absolutely.
There are good teams like I don't know, a Turkey or even like a Serbia or
Sweden,
Romania,
whatever.
Sweden, Ibrahimovic. We could have been seeing Ibrahimovic, but no, we're seeing Honduras.
Well, what do we see? Like we have 5 spots from CONCACAF, right? Or
We have
6?
four spots.
4?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken,
And you want to take one away, and that would mean 3. That would mean who?
Listen, I think that 3 is more than enough for CONCACAF.
Look, who was in the last? I mean, they even did well. Like a team like Trinidad and Tobago that has a population of 1 million people. They actually did pretty well for themselves. But I mean, they have to have like an outstanding tournament to even get 3 points. And that's what we're seeing all the time. It's always like a CONCACAF team that's like probably getting
Listen, CONCACAF is realistically two teams: USA, Mexico.
Right.
Canada is shit. And now we're seeing like the emergence of, let's say, Costa Rica. Hopefully, their team can continue to get better, but not more than 3. I think 3 is literally USA, Mexico, and whoever wins the lottery of the rest of the teams. But looking at this Honduras team, they're poor. They have maybe 1 or 2 good technical players, and then the rest of them are just dirty.
Since we're on this discussion, what I would say is give them a chance. Give these teams from North America and the Caribbean a chance. Let them play a head-to-head match with a European team.
Yeah, that's not a
See
bad
how
idea.
they fare, and then the winner of that game, just like you had in South America, the 5th place team used to play against. Usually it was Australia. Then they completely got rid of that federation and moved Australia in with Asia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that style. Have a head-to-head match from one confederation with the other one. And see how they fare, and it's only fair that the team who wins gets to play the World Cup.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've talked about how shit Honduras is, Jeff, what do you think about France?
Listen, this also was a match I kind of just watched part of, but obviously, definitely a power to be like more than a dark horse. People were saying, France is going to be a good team. They might win. No, they will probably, if they can keep the team cohesion, have a very deep World Cup. I think that the shit with Frank Ribery, the fact that he's not there anymore, it sucks. But besides that, they still managed to score 3 well-deserved goals and dominate the whole match. So that just goes to show you that without the 3rd best player in the world, they can still do really good against a shitty team like Honduras. Now, are they going to be as dominant as they were, against Switzerland as they were against Honduras? I don't know. Switzerland have a good possession game. I think they hold the ball very well. So they'll probably have a little bit more of a difficulty. But definitely, I still see them highly favored. So I like the way they played to get today. I liked what I saw from Benzema, because if he can start producing, it's definitely good for France. And I liked Valbuena, Matteo Valbuena.
Yeah.
He played really, really well in the middle of the park, carried the ball very, very well.
Yeah, he was my favorite player for
And
France.
of course, Paul Pogba. Paul
Phenom.
Pogba, baby. He's a black beast.
Future Ballon d'Or.
So yeah, I think I definitely liked what I saw today from France. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't see like I think Ribery on this team would make them look that much better, but it didn't look like they missed him at all. They really got a lot of good play out of guys like Valbuena. I thought he was amazing. I'm really impressed with the young Frenchman Griezmann. I thought that he really one to watch. And I also think that Mamadou Sakho looks like he could be a part of the Lord's Resistance Army in Joseph Kony's Lord's Resistance Army. He looks like a rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, France really impressed. I wasn't sure about them before the tournament, but I saw their friendly games and they looked really good. And I saw this game, and I mean Honduras realistically never had a chance. So,
Right. No, I absolutely agree. Valbuena had a great game, but I mean Honduras didn't even have like one single scoring chance. I think like they were just horrible. But I mean, props to France. You know, I also thought they were like a realistic team, and Deschamps has got to be feeling like really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did. You can also say have the game handed to them, right? Because I mean, who was it? Palacios picks
Wilson Palacios, yeah.
up a second yellow.
Their best player.
Stupid foul on Pogba. Pogba reacted, and then obviously fouling in the box, getting that PK. Basically, he did his team in, and at that point, I predicted the exact scoreline that it would be 3-0. But I mean, after the PK, everybody knew the floodgates are completely opening now. There was never a chance. There's definitely not going to be a chance now that they're playing 10 against 11, and you know they got a PK. And I mean, then Deschamps basically took off Pogba, said, you know what, this guy's got a yellow. Let me take him off. The ref might try and make it an even affair. And he even took Valbuena off before the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, I mean,
yeah, he subbed him off.
I felt like he was thinking ahead. France is looking good. Cruise control. They're going to come out of this group with 9 points, like we all said. And, yeah.
Well, listen, guys, if you want to just come back to the whole Frank Ribery thing, because I've been hearing a lot about this shit, and you know, I'll even go one step ahead and say Frank Ribery not being there is actually might be a good thing, because you hear all about this. This one thing for this World Cup is that all these teams have this over-reliance on individual players. Like Uruguay relies on Cavani and Suarez, and Portugal relies on Ronaldo, and Argentina, they don't say relies on Messi, but is a big part of the team. Without Ribery in France, they can find service and goals from other players, and
Yeah.
definitely it would take away from that whole feed Ribery and let him carry the ball and feed him. It forces you to get results from the rest of your team, and I think it's definitely something that we saw today from France for sure.
It's funny sometimes how like a really good player missing could be beneficial, as weird as it sounds. You know, in 2006, Italy were missing Nesta for a good portion of the tournament, and he's one of the greatest defenders of all time. And who do we have in his place? Materazzi. And he was one of the big reasons why we even won that tournament. So, you know, maybe it could be a blessing in disguise for France. Who knows?
Yeah, it's always an opportunity for a player to step up. But, I mean, I don't know. Take the example of Portugal. Would you not want to have a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo, who at this moment is arguably the best player in the world? You
Yeah.
absolutely want him. Would you not want to have, if you're Argentina, Messi, who we're going to talk about later is a big reason why they won that game?
I still think that. Do you think that, let's say Messi got injured, that Argentina could still win the tournament
Without Messi,
without Messi?
their chances would be, like, say, not as high.
Yeah, not as high, but I mean,
But they
still,
can definitely find the service from somewhere else. There's no
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
But there's certain players, and I think we're even seeing this. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow with Portugal, that they just have so much class that they're just too important. Like Neymar, I think. You know, I think that's what we're gonna see in this tournament, is that there's gonna be these players that when they step it up a notch, Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo individually can definitely make a difference. And there have been players in past World Cups that have won World Cups by themselves, like Diego Armando Maradona, like Garrincha was important for Brazil back in the day. Baggio with Italy, who didn't.
He
make
would have
them-
won that '94 World
He
Cup.
deserved
right?
to.
If he would have sunk that penalty, he would have been responsible for that
It's
victory.
not a guarantee because then Brazil it was their turn to take a penalty shot. But I mean,
Okay, right.
he's definitely the reason why Italy found themselves in that position. So
Goals from everywhere, bro.
there are definitely these world-class players that individually, just by themselves, can help a team. And I would rather have a guy like Ribery on my team than not have him, for sure.
Definitely, I agree with you.
So speaking of Argentina, we'll segue into this game. Argentina wins by the score of 2-1. Messi with an absolute cracker in the second half. So what would you guys think here? I thought that under Argentina were underwhelming.
Absolutely. I think they were underwhelming because of a few reasons. Bosnia was very hardworking. They were keeping possession through a lot of the first half. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but a lot of that
Absolutely.
first half was ball was in Bosnia's hands. Middle of the park, Misimovic. I don't know how to pronounce, but he played these beautiful balls right down the middle in the air, really, really well controlled. So I think that what happened to Argentina, I don't know, but they definitely seemed disjointed. And first goal was really a fluke. Without the first goal, I think that maybe Bosnia would have had a better morale. Maybe would have. I don't know. It would have changed the game a little bit if they didn't if they hadn't let in that shitty own goal in the third minute, second minute. Really, really bad timing.
Yeah, Argentina looked relaxed after that first goal by
Yeah,
Bosnia.
definitely. They were soaking up a lot of pressure. Second half, I didn't follow that closely because I was listening to it on the radio. But I know that the first half was definitely in Bosnia's favor, which is really cool. I mean, look at Bosnia, man. Bosnia to own a half of football against Argentina. That's pretty something. That's pretty big, actually.
Second half, Argentina was a little bit better. There were some changes. Gago came on, Higuain came on. But if I'm a Blanco Celeste supporter, I'm definitely worried. Why? Because it looks like Argentina has like a formation crisis. I think they don't really have an identity. I remember a couple World Cup. Argentina usually looks good in the group stage, especially when they're playing against shitty teams. I remember the Argentina team playing against the Serbia team. You remember the goal of the 25 touches? Was it
Cambiaso?
Yeah, Cambiaso scored. Yeah. They said it was one of the best team goals.
25 touches? We definitely didn't see that today. We definitely didn't see that type of Argentina today. This Argentinian team has the players to produce, that type of gameplay. But we definitely didn't see that today. Argentina was playing like an unorthodox formation, basically 3 more central figures in the back, supported by left backs, a left wing back and a right wing back. I think in Rojo, I believe,
Zabaleta.
and Zabaleta. So it was kind of like a 5-man D almost, and Bosnia really, they looked good under a couple of occasions. I remember Fernandez heading up a really juicy chance that Bosnia could have buried. Romero made a decent save.
Beautiful save off a corner. Was it that one?
I don't remember if it was off a corner. I think it was a shot coming from, I don't remember exactly, but it was a shot that he just basically got his hand to and eliminated that danger. But Argentina didn't really look that great. They weren't connecting. Game changer for me was Messi. I mean, maybe without Messi, they wouldn't have won this game.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. Messi picked up the ball, did what he had to do. Defenders falling over each other, off the post and in. Then there was that whole controversy with, for the first time we've seen this in a World Cup, where they had to use the goal line technology, right? For me, I was looking at the replay a couple of times. It looked like it didn't go in. But, I mean, they're using the goal line technology. If they say it's in, I'm assuming it's in. But you see, it's all these like, you know,
Hang on, which goal are you talking about?
This happened in the Argentina game? Or is that the France game?
I think you're talking about the France game, off the post, and goalie
Benzema-
picks it up.
Benzema's goal.
oh man, I completely
Yeah.
confused the two.
Yeah, you're
Too
right.
much soccer in a game, overload.
Overload.
Too much soccer. It's been a feast of soccer. Well, listen, my
Well,
thoughts
listen,
on
you
this.
want to talk about that because that was fucked up. Because when they first originally showed,
Let's finish up on Argentina, and then we'll go back to the...
okay,
I just want to say something about Argentina. Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I didn't understand the formation change because I thought that Argentina usually play like an offensive 4-4-3. But it looks like Sabella's trying to imitate Van Gaal's like 5-3-2 with like 3 in the middle of the defense and then offensive wing backs. And I don't know why they're being so cautious. I mean, it is Bosnia is a good opponent, but really you have Messi and Di Maria on the field with Arguero. You shouldn't be, scared. You should be Bosnia should be the one packing the defense.
I think it just comes down to bad coaching because as a coach you have so many options, and I think you're just picking the wrong ones. It just doesn't make sense what this Argentinian team is doing.
This is a
And-
night and day difference between Maradona's Argentina.
And they were even being cheeky in a couple of occasions, like Rojo doing the Rebona in his own like box, trying to clear a
Yeah.
ball. De Maria doing the same thing when he could have elected to make like a simple pass.
Yeah.
So it seems like some of these Argentinian players are, I don't know, maybe they feel like the pressure, like they have to play Joga Bonito or something, but it's just not happening.
No, I don't know. They didn't really look like the terror that they promised us that Argentina would be. As for Bosnia, I thought that they were. I'm impressed with this Bosnian team.
Absolutely.
I was impressed with them from the friendlies. I was impressed, and I'm impressed with them today. I mean, I thought they were really good at spells in the game of keeping possession. Actually, at some points, I couldn't believe what I was watching because I didn't expect Bosnia to have so much of the ball as they did.
Bosnia is a very hard team to beat. We played them in qualifying. We have a lot of trouble against Bosnia in qualifying. We have a lot of trouble against a lot of teams. Portugal does.
Yeah.
But this is one particular team that's hard to beat.
At this point, we've seen enough of Bosnia to know they're going to at least finish second in this group.
Yeah.
Well-
You guys see them smashing the shit out of Nigeria and Iran?
Can I see them? I don't know because I really have to see Nigeria and Iran tomorrow. Well, actually, I'll watch the highlights, I guess.
Epic
But
game.
what I'm saying is, I hope that Bosnia smash both Iran and Nigeria because, Iran, who cares, and Nigeria, yeah, they're good, I guess. But there's something about this Bosnian team which is like they're a Cinderella story, and I want to see them get to the next. It would be nice for this Bosnia team, considering their history, to get out of the first round. It'd be nice.
Agreed. I don't know too much about Iran, and I don't know how well they're going to play, but I don't think my least favorite team in this group is Nigeria. I saw them against the United States, and they really didn't play well against the United States.
No, they're just they have some good individual players, but they're not organized.
I don't think it's going to happen for them.
No.
That was the last game of the day, actually, right? Argentina,
Yeah, that was the
Bosnia.
last game of the weekend. So
Messi magic.
Do you want to go back and
Go
talk
back to that
about
replay that I brought up. In
What
the
was
wrong
fucked
game.
up about it was that when they played it live, when they showed you the goal line video, now they started
Yeah.
showing those videos where it's a graphic
Goal.
CGI.
no goal? Yeah.
And the first times they had shown it, it was just basically one episode of the ball crossing the line and the judgment of whether it's no goal or goal. But this time, they had shown a different version of the replay, which you didn't really expect. So it was off the post on the right-hand side saying no goal, and then it would go inside, and the goalie would pick it up with his hand and it judge it again,
Yeah.
goal. So there was two indications, and the first time, and when you see that the first time around, it didn't click that the ball had moved, and it was just so fucked up. They had said goal, then no goal, and then everybody was confused. So
Yeah, I
it
think
it
that's
was really wild.
Yeah, I think that's just the error of, I guess, FIFA's.
No, I think it was purpose. I would
No,
think it was on
it is
purpose.
purpose, but I think it's just error in planning because obviously the shot off the post didn't go in, and
Yeah, that was very, very obvious.
that's not the action that people were debating.
You
It's
didn't need goal line technology
yeah,
for that.
but what's also funny is like during one of the games, I think it was if I'm not mistaken, it was Mexico Cameroon, where it was a clear goal. There was no debate, and still they showed the graphic of FIFA explaining to us that the ball crossed the line.
Yeah.
which is a complete waste of resources. We know the ball went in. There's no debate, you know.
Well, listen, they've got this new service. They're just trying to introduce it slowly. And whenever there was a little bit of, like very close, the ball ended up really close. It show you that they have the whole situation in hand, that FIFA mafia that they are.
Well, then you had the two coaches standing side by side. Deschamps trying to explain something to Luis Suarez, who coincidentally has the same name as Uruguayan striker. I don't know. It looked like total confusion. Looked like total confusion for me at home. Looked like total confusion for people at home. For people on the field as well.
Yeah, it didn't.
But it didn't waste that much time.
They
I thought
need
it would
to handle it better, I guess.
Despite all that
Quicker.
confusion, it didn't waste that much time, and I think that's good for the game.
Yeah. I mean, finally, after this really should have been implemented last World Cup. But at least we get it here, and there's.
At least the game has it from now on. We've eliminated one aspect of human error.
Still, there's other things that need to be cleaned up. Like I really believe in the coach's challenge. Video replay for challenging things like dives in the box, or was it really a card, or et cetera, et cetera. I think that needs to be implemented. And also another thing I think that FIFA need to get on is be very serious about retroactive cards. If someone dives in the box, or someone's guilty of a dive and it's evident on TV, I think that player should get a yellow card or a red card after the game and suspension. I think you're going to get a lot of that diving out of the game that way.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I mean, it's enough that when you're at a game, you're basically like isolated from everything that is replay and analysis of the game, so that you can really know what's going on. At least after the fact, so that the player is not completely, absolved of this wrongdoing. Just give him something. Give him a yellow card. Make him carry something on, so that to discourage this shit from the game. Because what Fred did was fucked up, and I really didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever.
That Japanese ref should not get a game. He should be sent home.
And we say this every time. Every time there's somebody that dives, you say, it's part of the game. The ref, it doesn't always happen, and this and that. It should really not be part of the game. Players should not have that as a tactic on their mind. That's my opinion. Whether it's running towards the box and you get clipped on the ankles, that's the benefit of the doubt. But when you're clearly picking up on a free kick or a corner, and you're just basically leaning into the guy and you fall over, and it's obvious there's no real momentum or anything, that's got to be punished one way or another.
All right, guys, so games of the week, I guess. What are you guys looking out for? Jeff, obviously, Germany, Portugal is on your mind.
The battle. It's going to be crazy.
I'm looking forward to Ghana USA, to be honest.
Yeah, they have a nice rivalry going with their past two World Cup games. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I still think that Ghana's going to win this. I don't think that USA gets anything here.
I'm just really hoping Ghana wins, and by a lot, and really, as much as possible, that Klinsmann gets ridiculed, because I think he deserves it at this point.
Yeah. So Germany, Portugal is going to be probably what everyone's going to be looking at. This is probably something worthy of a semifinal or a final.
The Gladiators.
So it's two big teams playing first game, so that they're going to be playing as if this is like, this is going to be for the World Cup almost, because they both need to get 3 points here.
Do we want to talk about how, Costa, it seems like, is becoming depressed? Maybe will gradually become borderline suicidal after everyone basically in Brazil wants to kill him?
Yeah, it's my hope that happens, because, the Brazilian fans have been calling him Judas. And to me, this seems like it's a dark cloud over the Spanish team, that they had this naturalized Brazilian who probably could have been playing for Brazil in this World Cup. So I hope it'd be probably nice if he committed suicide.
That's hardcore.
Another good game this week, Spain-Chile. That's another big game.
That's a big rematch too, right?
Yeah, from the last. Actually, when did they play each other?
I'm pretty sure they played in recent times, either 2006 or 2010, but I'm not 100%.
Well, listen. In any case, this is absolute do or die for Spain. If they don't collect 3 points here, they're going home.
Akas, bro.
And
then begins the Netherlands demolition of Australia. Tim Cahill and company.
How many goals is Van Persie going to score this game, guys?
Listen, it depends entirely if the Australia defense lets him score goals, and I'm pretty sure that they won't be up to the task.
I think a minimum poker, a nice 4 goals.
No, not 4 goals there, but maybe 2 or 3 goals easily. Robin dances around the defense circles before scoring his hat trick.
I don't know about Chile beating Spain. I really think like Spain is just going to come back and completely redeem themselves against at Chile's expense.
I think Chile are up for it, though. I think they smell blood. And
I
I
think
they're
Chile,
gonna,
as good as they are offensively, you know, and the likes of a couple of players who are really good, there's a team with too many flaws,
but
and
you know,
Spain are going to do them in.
the script, you know, Spain has been dominant for the past 6 years. The script on how to beat them is out there. You know, it's a simple technique, simple tactic. It's the way you line up your players. You know, flood the midfield, play 3 center backs. That seems to be the way to beat them. And I don't know too much about Chile's manager, but I mean, I think he should be looking at that, you know, formation, those ideas to beat the Spanish team. I mean, will he do it? Who knows?
I don't know. Chile's going to have to outscore them, but I don't see them stopping that motor. You know what I mean?
Listen, I thought the same thing about Holland, and they completely ripped Spain apart. And Chile have a guy.
But the motor being what? Xavi and Iniesta and Xavi Alonso?
That whole class of players in their midfield, you know, tiki-tac, and I just don't see. I don't know.
Tiki-tac.
Guys, for me, Electric Sanchez is just as dangerous as you know.
Electric Sanchez, Eduardo
It's just as
Vargas.
dangerous.
These guys are beasts. They're beasts.
Powerhouse
like you said,
after powerhouse.
They smell blood, and they're gonna come get it. I'm telling you, they're gonna go no holds barred. If you think that they went and they attacked Greece, it was a defensive team, they're gonna do the exact same thing to Spain.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to have to be an open affair, and then maybe Chile can have the advantage.
Yeah, another crucial game this week. We're gonna see Uruguay, England. I think that's
Big game.
a big, huge game. You know, if Uruguay don't win this, goodbye. If England don't win this, goodbye. This is like already their final, you could say, for both teams. And another interesting game for me is Colombia, Cote d'Ivoire. It's gonna be interesting to see the clash of styles, the clash of teams. You know, very South American Colombia that play very good technically against these giants of Ivory Coast. So I think that's gonna be a good.
At this point, you got to just start Drogba.
Yeah.
Start him from minute one.
Starting Drogba is the game plan.
Guys, you glanced over Portugal, Germany. I was like,
we
yeah, well, listen, come on, you gotta give
Okay,
it a
so-
little bit more fucking attention than that.
we gotta get more time to Portugal, Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, come on.
The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo starting for sure. We're talking about Nani starting on the right hand side. Moutinho, Pepe, Bruno Alves, Contrao, João Pereira. What a team!
Oh my God,
What a team! What a
this
team!
is a
Eh,
this is a potential first World Cup winning.
absolutely,
11
absolutely.
for Portugal.
And Germany, what are we seeing against Germany? Schweinsteiger, same old guys. Schweinsteiger,
Schweinsteiger,
Özil,
Mesut Özil,
Özil, Klose,
Lam.
Lam, Mertesacker. I heard if Mertesacker plays, we're going to be happy because Ronaldo's going to run around him. It's really slow.
I can't honestly. I cannot pick a winner here. I don't know who's gonna win this game. I have no idea. I'm very much looking forward to it. Could it be a stalemate? Possibly.
I hope not. I hope that
I hope
both
not.
teams go out looking to win the game.
Because
really do.
on paper, this is probably the biggest game of the first. I guess the first turn of games, right? Besides Spain, Holland.
Yeah. Apart from which, I think Spain Holland was a bit bigger.
I don't know. Because I mean, before who was rating? I mean, obviously Holland are always rated, but who was saying Holland are going to win the World Cup before that game? Like who was like?
A lot of people. I think a lot of people were saying.
Strootman injury, Van der Vaart injury. Like who was saying, hey, Holland's going to win this guaranteed? You know, like yeah, I could see Germany and Portugal winning the tournament. I think they're both that good.
Well, definitely Holland is amongst the favorites. Top tier team, definitely.
Well, I mean, Portugal just came off of a big win in a friendly against Ireland, 5-1, in which Cristiano Ronaldo didn't even score, but he came on just to prove to everybody that he's at 100%.
Cristiano Ronaldo is our Didier Drogba.
Yeah, but he didn't do that much running in that game though.
He came on late.
He fell once actually.
No, he started.
No, he started. Yeah,
He
came
he
out-
did
he
against
came off
Ireland. Yeah, he started.
and he came off in the 60th minute.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, he didn't play the full game, right?
Yeah, it
So
was
he
weird. He
started
wasn't
in-
really playing. He was playing like sort of like the number 8, where he was like in the middle of the field. You know, it wasn't too advanced, but he was giving out passes, and once in a while he would make a break on the wing. You know, it was I think it was purposely put there not to do much running.
My impression is any Portuguese person I talk to is more excited about Cristiano Ronaldo than they are about Portugal. It's just my impression.
That sucks, honestly, because I really think that we have a good squad of players around. We have a lot of players that play in top leagues around the world that they perform on the national level as well as they do in the club level. I think that the only place that we're really lacking is up front, the striker role. We haven't had a good striker since a long time, Pauletta, and he sucked. So imagine.
Yeah.
We develop wingers, and that's basically it. But I think we have a lot of heart, a lot of garra, and I think we can fucking pull it off against Germany, at least against Germany. And if we do get a result against Germany, watch out USA, watch out Ghana. We're gonna shit all over those two teams, both together.
I think it's great how every time during that Ireland friendly, every time Ronaldo touched the ball, you just heard like this like
40,000 orgasms.
40,000, yeah, like this huge scream from a bunch of bitches in the crowd. Of just like, you know,
Yeah,
take me now.
As if there's magic in his boots.
Yeah. So I thought that was great.
And what do you guys think? Do you think that being the whole Portuguese thing, you guys think that there's going to be you think we're going to get support from the Brazilians?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about the relationship between Portugal and Brazil fans, but I mean, considering that Brazil used to be a colony of Portugal, I wouldn't think so.
It looks like a lot of people from different nations are hating on Brazil, and Brazil is hating on them. So
Actually,
it's a
Brazil-
lot of us versus them is what I'm seeing.
Well, I'm seeing the clear European versus South American. Basically, every European team.
Yeah, but I don't see Brazil cheering for a country like Uruguay. You know what I'm saying? And Argentina, when they're like in super hostile mode, they went Copacabana chanting "We're invading Rio" or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there's gonna be big rivalries, and the rivalries are between the South American teams.
Yeah, no,
That's where the
definitely,
hatred is.
definitely. Between when you
It's
see
like a derby, basically.
two South American teams playing, definitely. But when you see a game like Italy-England, like yesterday, and we saw, you know, the crowd favoring a little bit more Italy because, Alex, like you said, there's a lot of Italians in Brazil.
Yeah.
Between a game where there's two European nations, can you see Brazilian locals favoring Portugal?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. Well, that remains to be seen. I guess tomorrow
We'll see. We're looking for a great game, 12 o'clock. I'll be there with my Portugal jersey and my flag. I'm going to wave my flag.
Yeah. Don't do like those dorks who those Portuguese dorks who put both Brazil and Portugal flags on
No,
their
there's
car.
only one flag on my
Because
car.
they're clearly not both Portuguese and Brazilian.
It's the five
Você não
English.
eres brasileiro.
Now new.
Chupa
Now
mi pau. Okay, so I guess that covers it for the.
Thanks for listening to the Beyonders
Yeah,
podcast.
Enjoy the game.
First week over,
Enjoy the game. Drink beer, get fucked up.
and we'll be back with another round of
Yeah, we're back
of
in a
shit.
week.
Mike, Alex, Jeff.
Proof is in the pudding,
Sounds.
and the pudding in this case is a football. Booth, eat my goal. The goalie has got football pie all over his shirt.